But basically for us, our biggest obstacle starting out was where we lived. Small town in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
We have no music industry. You know what I mean? Like, what are you supposed to do? So you got to make waves. You got to make, first of all, you got to try to gain local fans, and then you got to try and get people that have no connection to you to listen to your music from like record labels and stuff like that. The internet wasn't nearly the thing that it was 15 years ago. So like you were still mailing music to record labels and hoping that they opened it and then listened to it. So that was our biggest obstacle, because people who live in, you know, like New York and LA and Nashville and places like that, they can do showcases for labels that'll be in the audience, and if they like them, you know, they can start up a dialogue. No one's coming to Dayton, Ohio to sign your band. You know, that's just not the way that it works. Even though there are some incredible signed bands from Dayton, Ohio, but we just don't have any industry there. So the hardest thing was to figure out a way to get total strangers to believe in our music. But you know, you got to believe in it yourself.
Right.
So we spent the time writing and recording our music to the point where we felt good sending it to people, total strangers. So I would say that was the hardest thing for us. The best advice is probably, you know, my wife tells me every time I'm like frustrated about something in the music industry, is she always tells me to worry about what I have, not what I don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Which you can use that advice to anything in your life. But you know, she always is quick to remind us how successful we've been from being from such a small area. You know, like, she's like, you guys have already hit the lottery. I don't know why you're like mad about anything. You know, like you're a band that people know. Everybody goes through ups and downs, and everybody misses out on tours, or everybody, like, you know, has things that don't work out as well as they thought that it would. So don't focus on that. Focus on what you have. Worst advice we've ever received was definitely to like file a lawsuit against our record label. You know, like, you just shouldn't do things like that. Like, we wanted to stand up for what we believe in, but like, that's just for a bunch of people who know nothing about law and stuff like that. Like, we're musicians. I just wanted to be in a band, so like, I don't want to be dealing with lawyers and stuff like that, you know. But whatever, you live and learn.
How much of the business side have you found that you've had to take on as you've got bigger?
100%. We all do everything for ourselves. We have a manager and a booking agent who guide us, and you know, we kind of let them know what we would like to do. They let us know how realistic that is, or they show us opportunities and stuff like that. But like, all four of us in the band are all active in the decision making of the band, but we all are bringing ideas to the table. The industry side of things, like we print our own merch. Our drummer and I physically print our own merch. Mark, our guitar player, does like most of the design work, whether it's t-shirt designs or social media designs, photo editing, stuff like that. Matt handles a good deal of the web store. So like, we do just about everything for our band. And it's just work, you know. It's probably advice like, don't worry about chasing things that don't need to be chased. Worry about taking opportunities that come to you, and worry about doing the best with those opportunities instead of trying to search for stuff that maybe isn't there. Yeah, you know, like a lot of people, like, they constantly worry about things that they don't have. Just as humans, I think that that's the way that our brains work. They don't realize, like, life can be simpler if you just simplify your line of thinking. So, and I think we picked that up five years ago or so. We were just like, look, we're making ourselves miserable. We're doing these great tours, but we're worried about what we weren't able to do. So we have to focus, and that's kind of at the time period where we started doing a lot of things ourselves to try to take more ownership when stuff goes right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to blame other people, but if you're the one doing everything, you have to look in the mirror. Mm-hmm. It's always good to be able to look in the mirror and understand what you're doing is the right thing. Every once in a while, you know, people will ask mainly about like our politics and stuff like that, but like we're not really a political band.
No, okay.
So like I don't really. Those are things that I try not to let ruin my life.
Good.
You know what I mean? Like I'll vote,
mm-hmm.
and I believe in what I believe in, but like I don't let it derail my happiness. Like some people, specifically right now, are like really ramped up and like they just seem miserable.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look, vote, that's what you can control, do that, and, you know, we'll live to fight another day. Coffee shops, just hanging out, whether it's drinking coffee or drinking tea, you know, just getting out, walking around, getting out of the venue for a little bit. Like today, we saw a Ferris wheel over there, we walked down to the carnival. You know, just to see a little bit of the culture, take it all in a little bit. A lot of people get trapped at the venue for some reason, and then you realize, you wake up 10 years later and you're like, you know, I didn't see anything in any of these cities that I was in. Mm-hmm. We get out of the venue and to walk around and stuff like that, you know, that kind of. You also, not only do you want to play a good set, you want to enjoy your time in these places that you're in, so we still like to travel.